Hey, you two, Rex and Jake.
I'm Rose.
I'm Mickey.
And this is Recast Podcast, episode 20 of season 3.
Woo!
So, last week had a bunch of stuff got done. So we saw Princess Mononoke.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'll enjoy that very much. Look forward to the grades on that one.
Yeah.
But let's get a little trivia here. I was opening up the trivia page to find basically the fun facts of the episode, and I saw a lot of very funny stuff. So I kind of want to read a few of them. So the first thing is, we've already talked about Hayao Miyazaki. He personally redrew or corrected 80,000 of the film's 144,000 animation cells. So he redrew pretty much half that entire thing.
Why? He's like, this is not perfect
He's
enough.
a perfectionist.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
He's an extreme perfectionist.
Dang.
He's
Does
the
he
guy
ever
that
go
was-
on like sickness hiatuses?
No.
Okay.
That doesn't exist. But, he's the guy who was telling you that he's kind of known as being kind of an a-hole. Maybe this is that guy. The guy's like even harsh to his own son.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I imagine working for him is both prestigious and hell on earth.
Yes.
But yeah, is also the last major animated motion picture to be filmed on plastic animation cells. So I don't know the specific details of what that is, so I was hoping you knew.
No, I have no idea.
No.
You're an artist, you must know all.
You must know all. I'm wondering if maybe it's basically like a film reel, like the little film negatives, but for an anime. You just draw on each and every cell. That's what I would assume it is.
Let's do a quick look Google here.
Oh, speaking of which, the cell from Steins Gate, this is what they were talking about. I had looked it up.
Oh, so that's what. Okay, yeah. So I'll just put that on the screen for you because we just read that. Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, and the other fun fact was right up here. So when Harvey Weinstein obtained the North American distribution rights for Princess Mononoke, he approached the director and insisted for a shorter version. But Miyazaki was so upset about the old cut that he did for this show here called Nazca of the Valley of the Wind in 1984 that he angrily left the meeting. Several days later, Studio Ghibli sent over a katana sword to Weinstein's office with the phrase, "No cuts" embedded into the book. And the film was released in its uncut version.
We gotta love these Japanese people. They're wonderful.
Get straight to the point.
When asked about this incident in an interview, Miyazaki simply smiled and said, "I defeated him."
Oh my gosh. So when to bring the drama.
Right?
I gotta say.
Right?
It's incredible.
I feel like a movie could be made about Miyazaki.
Yes. I'm sure they will. They have to wait till after he dies because he's gonna redraw it. Redraw the whole thing.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so we saw that movie. By the time you guys see this,
Mononoke.
yeah, Princess Mononoke. By the time you see this up on YouTube, the video should be out. Let us know what you thought about that. But yeah, now that time has gone by, I've had time to marinate on it. Have you had any new thoughts on it? Because I know when we saw it, we felt like the ending was a bit more rushed. Which we've had pretty much that comment about every single one of these Studio Ghibli movies we've seen so far. But that one felt the most raw to me.
True.
And I think it's because we went back in time.
Yeah.
In terms of watching the shows.
I think it aged well for me. I didn't have any lasting negative. Wait, maybe I did. I think I thought about it for a while, but now thinking about it, it's kind of just a neutral. I don't feel any negatives about it. I think it's a pretty decent show, and I'm glad I have it under my belt as having watched this Studio Ghibli show. So if anybody makes reference to it, I can say, "Aha!"
Yeah, that
Yes,
thing.
that.
Yes. Yeah, I feel pretty much the same as I did when we first watched it. I'm like, oh, this was a fun. I enjoyed this. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's like if we're having a movie night, like just with friends, and you want to put on a movie that you think everybody's gonna like, this would be one of, I think, a good movie.
Yeah, it's a fun little show. Yeah.
And while it was, I guess I could call it more coherent than Howl's Moving Castle, but I still feel more pleasant thinking about Howl's Moving Castle than I do this movie.
Yes,
Same.
I agree.
And I think it's because maybe the plot was a bit more. I could kind of guess where everything was going. The main character was a bit interesting because he was just like on everyone's side trying to calm everything down.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see it just not working the entire movie and seeing, paying for that as a result. But nothing felt like surprising or that interesting or new to me. Howl's Moving Castle was like a visual spectacle. Even though there was a lot of weird spirits or whatever in Princess Mononoke, Howl's Moving Castle really did kick it up a notch.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it was harder to predict like how things were gonna spin. Whereas I do see what you mean with Princess Mononoke. It was like, we only have one place we can stop this show.
Yeah.
Although I was surprised about one thing from the ending that I didn't expect them to do, but that could have been a I don't want to spoil it, but we can. That could have been a testament to the mindset of where Japanese people were in terms of like the treading the line between the old ways and the new ways.
Right.
Should I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it's because the deer god died. I didn't expect that. I was like, he would live on in some way.
I thought they explained that he didn't die. He's just showing them to move on.
Oh, I didn't get that at all. No, they
straight
said
up died and dispersed his energy to like help the people recover.
I think that was like his last move as deer god was to refix everything he just destroyed.
It was kind of implied like he'll eventually reform.
Probably, yeah. But I thought of it more of a because I was like, wow, why did he let him die there? I mean, it's like the guys won, but the way I saw it is maybe it was a comment? I don't know what you call those things. Commentary, I guess is the word. It was so close. Of them saying, you know, this is the fight between modern and old. The modern is going to win. Even if we can carry on with maintaining the old, it's going to die. This is what as I thought about it afterwards, is what I thought maybe that's why they did that.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the commentary side of things, even though it was, you know, nature versus, you know, manufacturing, all that stuff. That's a very old trope at this point.
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed the way they did it because a lot of the time in modern movies, they'll very much portray nature as perfect.
Yeah.
They're portrayed as like, this is just good. It's pure good.
Yeah.
And humanity's been moving away from pure good. It's like, in this movie, it's like, wolves eat people.
Yeah.
Yes.
These wolves are like the size of horses, like Clydesdale horses.
Yeah.
And they just hunt and eat people because that's what they do.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make them evil.
No. Yeah.
But they do that.
Yeah.
And as human beings, we have a right to mess them up. You know? And I enjoy that because...
Stick on a fugu.
Yeah. And I think that's also a part of... I don't remember if we talked about this on camera, but we're talking about the nature of humans dealing with threats and animals dealing with threats and how, like, you know, some animals have memory.
Yeah.
If you do harm to, say, the cub, they'll try to hunt the person down or the thing down that did something to them, you know, or maybe some other species. They'll do that.
Ravens.
But if a wolf comes into a village at night and murks a kid, every wolf in a 50-mile radius is getting murked.
Yes,
every wolf.
That's true.
And that's what makes humans so much more dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think there is something to be said, like there should be like a limit at some points, but I also think there's something to be said about humans on top. You know?
Yeah, I totally get that. It's like the difference between just the intelligence level is, and I think it's that I honestly think even with humans on top, which I do agree, I think we need to realize it's like being the older sibling, and getting punished for the younger sibling doing evil. Yeah. You're like, why am I being punished? Yeah. Because you're the more intelligent one. You have to be the big person.
You cannot kick them because they bit you, Timmy. You gotta do it.
Yes.
Did feel good though.
Cathartic.
Human gang science, but let me find. I don't know where that's like too far or it's too little, but it's almost like it's a cultural difference in the way that they treat romance.
Yeah.
And it never feels, I don't know,
satisfying?
It never feels, not satisfying. It never feels normal. And I think it's because it's a
cultural thing. It's not our norm.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that like I have felt that. But it's like for me, because I ingest like so much like romance novels and stuff, seeing it like this, I'm like, oh, that feels so much more natural. You know,
really?
like the way you naturally in real life would like somebody who's not,
Yeah.
Yes, and it's not like everything they do makes you feel sparkly. It's just like, oh. And then at some point you're like, oh. And then you acknowledge the crush. And you're like,
it's true.
I do think I liked it the least in this one because it felt almost like a contract was signed at the very end. But you know, marriages are contracts.
True.
But it felt very formal that, yes, I love you, but I will live in the forest because I am a wolf. And it's like I don't live in the ironworks because I don't have a home. And so, and that's how it ended. And I like it because that makes sense. Like they've established a bond here. I don't know if I would have called it love, but they've established a bond here, and they will hold on to that bond because they cannot trust one another.
Yeah.
And it's very, I don't know. There's something very root cause of love in there about that. We need parts of each other, and we will work together for common good. marriage. And it makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
it makes sense to me. But it's
Yes.
also like, you guys haven't shown any affection.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I guess
yeah,
the
yeah.
baby bird feeding, but
Yeah, he cried. He was like, my first kiss. But yeah. I totally get that. And I do see the cultural difference. I kind of see both your perspectives where the cultural difference where we are so used to the Western.
The affection, affection.
and not
part
even
of
just that, like they're birds and fake hearts in the air whenever you see the person and your
Yes.
eyes are like Google-eyed and you have entire conversations with yourself while staring at them while they're having a conversation with you, and things like that may happen in real life, but it's not like that. That's
Yes.
an exaggerated, like dragged out version,
Yes.
but we're used to that.
Yeah.
And that's what we like to see because it's our fantasy of what love would be like.
Yes, about how
Where-
we wouldn't be able to like just stop, staring longingly at the person.
Yes.
But in reality, you just look at them and look away, and
they
then you
re-
think about it.
Yeah,
for a
you
bit,
think about
and
it.
then you'd move on with your life.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, that's a cute guy, man. I'm happy that's a cute. Oh, my homework.
Yes.
You're like,
Yeah.
you're not really sitting on it for that long.
Yeah.
But
That's part of the reason why I wasn't like unsatisfied with how they portrayed it in Howl's Moving Castle, because I feel like you would just act normal around somebody that you like. You know, you wouldn't
Eventually.
be tripping over yourself.
eventually,
Yeah. If you're just, especially her, like she seems to be somebody who's used to hiding her feelings about everything.
yeah.
Like controlling, moderating her feelings on everything. So of course it would just seem like she's just going about life regularly.
And I think that may be part of the reason why I think of all the ones we've seen, I enjoyed their romance the most, because
yeah.
it was very they did a lot of very subtle things in the early parts of Howl's Moving Castle to establish the type of character Sophie had and where she's coming from, and so it was very believable for her to be acting this way if she was in love. And I actually did feel the connection between her and Howl. I felt
Yeah.
the chemistry, and especially because he relied on her a few times and she relied on him a few times, and it matched. And so by the end when they kissed, I was surprised they even kissed at all, because at this point I had a certain expectation for the older movies.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I believe that. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And this connects to a comment that we got on the last public Reactcast. So I guess by the time you see this, it's like 4 weeks later. But this is from Octavia here, and she was saying, it's in the middle of a longer comment, so I'll cut it off. Like what Rose stated, love is not focused on the romance, lip service, or outward displays of affection, but the acts of love like caring for someone. I hear it a lot from Western women who date Japanese men.
Yes, I do know that like in Japan, it's like you just don't say I love you.
Oh.
Like it's I love you is something you say on like your deathbed.
I remember you
Like
mentioning this.
legitimately.
Oh, that means you're
Yes.
like, I'm going to die. I'm going to
And so I
war. I,
need
will
to-
see you later.
To let you
Never.
know, because it's the last time that like
Aw.
like after all of life has passed, I can legitimately say I love you.
Wow.
You know? But yeah, like we see the way they translate it in like animes and stuff. They use it's aishiteru. I love you is aishiteru. Daisuki.
Yeah, they
is
use-
I like you. They
yeah.
they translate daisuki as I love you because
yeah.
it's like the most that they'll give out. You
Yeah,
know?
daisuki literally means I like you a lot.
Yes.
Because
There's
ski is
I
like,
like you.
and then daisuki is
I
big
like you a lot.
It's big like.
I remember when we were watching ReZero, you were talking about something like that, where the wording usage that
Emily?
I can't remember.
Really?
No, the witch of envy,
Oh, greed.
Oh, Greed?
the one that is in love with Subaru.
The
She
Greed.
kept saying, no, not Greed. It wasn't Greed.
The one that's supposed to look like Emily?
Yeah, that one. She kept saying a specific wording that was like the next level love.
I think she said
Aishiteru.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you were
Yeah.
saying like it was supposed to be creepy because like you never met this person. Like this is clearly a yandere
Yes,
kind of thing.
And that's also something that they do in a lot of like yandere romances.
They always say that one.
aishiteru because it's like, oh, that's creepy. Don't do that.
Wow.
And since you mentioned that, I started looking out for it because you'll notice a lot of times the characters will react to the words, and you'd be like, okay, she just said I like you. Why are you freaked out so much? But because she said I love you in that way, it's like this person is creepy. Why would they say that to me?
They want me to die.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, that's interesting. It would be a culture clash if a Western person dated a Japanese person. I wonder what that looks like.
Yeah. There is a YouTube channel called Rachel and June. She is like she's a redhead, so she's an American redhead. So and I think she's from the South somewhere. So
I think
like
I've seen
she's
her.
yes, she was also former military. So like she's as American as they come, and he is Japanese. They met at college. Oh, I think she was at the exchange program there. and they ended up dating and ended up getting married. So they were talking. That's where they were explaining the Aishiteru thing.
Oh, that's right. So it's like,
You got it from a vlog.
It wasn't a vlog. There was a sit-down video. They were actually talking about
Okay.
the topic.
there's a vlog.
It was a vlog.
So she's like, my husband has never and will never say I love you.
No, they were talking about how like she got him to come around and say it.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, because of the thing is, like, if you're gonna have a relationship like that across cultures like that,
it has to be compromises.
that's one of the compromises you have to, like, either the person, the westernized person who's like, you need to say I love you, or I don't believe that you actually love me, will have to, like, come to some understanding that I will be sending you to your death, my dear. If I say I love you. Like, they would have to, like, the other person would have to be like, die hard, can't say it. And then the Western has to be like, okay, I understand. Otherwise, like, it's always a compromise to say I love you, in my opinion, I would say. Like, it sounds kind of hard otherwise.
But marriages, they always say communication is key, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, cultural exchange, communication is probably next level. Like, we got to figure this stuff out
Right now.
There's
Yes.
going to be a problem.
Establish some things.
What is your love language?
Yes. Yeah. Even with that, they were talking about, in that same video, they were talking about how, like, when the guy's name is Jun. He's like, when Jun apologizes, he goes, like, super, like, cardboard stiff. He's like, I'm sorry.
Oh.
But like it's like a
it's like
cultural thing
being
is
respectful.
you're being serious and you're
Yeah.
telling them seriously, I'm
Sincerely,
sorry, because this is a serious moment. And she was like thrown off by that sometimes because she's like, what is wrong? You know, but like in Western, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you have to show
It's
emotion.
like you have to, yes, because for some reason that makes it more apology-ish.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, I was like, I understand both perspectives because both perspectives have reasons that make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just an interesting communication
And
thing.
there is a Western equivalent of that for the apology, because I did it once and I noticed the effect. Because like when I apologize for something, even if it's like a minor thing, like when I'm playing games with my buddies, I take it kind of seriously. And I remember once I messed up. I don't remember what I did, but I messed up. We were playing Counter-Strike. I think we lost the game, and then like we were arguing for a while, and then I looked it back and I realized, no, I did mess up. So instead of just saying I'm sorry, because we were kind of like all watching it back, I said, hey, that was my fault. I'm very sorry about that. Like I said it very formally,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, it's not a big deal.
It feels like we're suddenly in a board meeting. That's what it feels like.
They did want an apology.
Yeah.
But it was
not like that.
It was like, whoa, you're serious.
Yeah.
Because they apologize to each other all the time about
Yeah.
this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry, just picturing that. They're like,
Just imagine like at like the press conference about it. It's like, I'm sorry guys.
No, but I generally try to apologize like that, because I have a hard time believing a lot of sorries. So if I am going to say I'm sorry, I want to make sure you know that I'm
I'm
actually mean
serious.
it, and I'm going to try not to do that again.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I do wonder if this whole love thing is changing though, because I do notice the older, especially you watch older animes, romances can kind of they're never like that where they're very chaste like that, but they're closer to that than they are now.
True.
And you see animes these days, and the like, look at Love is War, right? That's a very romantic show.
Yes.
Even if it's about not saying the word I love you, it's a very romantic show. It's a very romance in the air kind of thing. And I
Yes.
wonder if the next generations coming up are changing to have that perspective, because, you know, first, media changes to reflect the society.
Yeah.
And if you start seeing that more and more common in the media, it's probably because the people are also kind of getting like that too. Or will be changing to be like that.
Yeah. I even think about like the show we just finished watching, Oshinoko, where there's a lot of like the blushy and the side plans and the hiding their face, like things like that are definitely more common in anime than they used to be, I think, based on the shows we've seen so far. Where like I think of Ghost in the was it Ghost in the Shell?
Probably not.
Or it may have been what's it called? Akira, where the guy was just like trying to get the girl the whole time.
skirt
But then
shots.
when she eventually like there was no like weird thing where she eventually liked him or whatever. There was no weird thing going on.
She was
there.
just with him.
She was just we're together now.
Yes.
You know?
We survived, so we get married.
Trauma bonding.
Yes.
So it's like it's still, you could see it there. It's not it's closer to being towards the now, but it's not quite as like what's the show the movie Mononoke, but
Yeah.
I think it depends on the genre of the show, because like in in romances, you're just gonna see those hearts and the bubbles all the time because it's meant to be
focused
fluffy
on that.
and tickly, but like in a show like ReZero, where the romance is an important part, but it's not like the whole thing. You're gonna get like those little bits of like, oh, like the pretty lighting and stuff, but like there's also like raging storm happening back there, so we can't put too much time on this, So I think it depends on the genre because it's just not gonna display all the romance as much in a more action-packed anime.
I know you watch a lot of romance animes and stuff, but do you like seek out romance animes, or do you seek out like a good anime that has romance in it?
Yes.
Because I think
I was gonna say it's yes.
I don't typically like straight up romance anime. I have to be in a mood to be like, I want to watch some people fall in love.
Yeah. Really? I thought you
and annoy me in the process. I pretty much any show that I watch, if it doesn't have romance in it, I'll get bored and I'll stop watching.
Oh, so it needs to have romance but not be about the romance.
Yes.
Thinking about it, it's just probably hard to find an anime these days without any
romance. Yeah. Even like when there's this show called Windbreaker, it was on the poll a couple of times. It's about him being in this school that's like a gangster school basically, and he still has a crush on somebody. But it's like it's such a non-thing. It's just a crush.
Yeah.
But like he's fighting people, and oh look, there she is, pretty blush, and then moves on with life. But like even just that's
enough.
It doesn't have to be much. It's just like I just gotta make sure you're all human.
Yeah.
No aliens, skinwalkers, or anything here. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same because. The thing is about watching like a strip romance anime, which is why I never watched Love is War. There's a flow that it has to the romance.
Yes.
And I don't like it.
Same.
Because it's basically watching, those old TV shows of the Will They Won't They.
Yes.
I don't want to watch a whole 3 season of Will They Won't They.
Yes.
I don't care for it. But if it's just they really like each other and it's done well, like it's a substantial part of the show.
Yes.
They might get together in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
So it's like at any point this romance can just pop off, or they can just be cute together off in the corner. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But if it's about the romance, nothing else is going to be there that's interesting. It's kind of like the reverse for me, where if it's all about romance, I get bored very quickly.
Yes, I do agree. Because to me, it's like if it's a romance anime, I know they're gonna be together.
Yeah.
But like
get impatient.
I get impatient. But like what was it? Toradora.
Yeah.
Pom Top Tiger. Do you remember the small little redheaded girl and the angry gangster looking dude? They fell in those guys. Do you remember that? The anime we watched? You don't remember?
You don't remember? I think it was like one of the first ones you've ever seen.
Yes, we really liked it.
I do. They look very familiar. It's something there.
I remember she walked in on her in the shower and she's like, "Pow, pow, and she punched him. But you remember?
It looks very familiar, and she looks very familiar, but I don't remember anything about the show.
Okay, so this show is basically like, he's in love with another girl and she's in love with another guy, and they're both trying to help each other get with the other person, but they're becoming closer in the meantime.
Okay.
So it's like obvious that they're gonna fall in love, but at the same time there's so much craziness and hijinks going on that it's like it almost feels fine for it to take time.
Distracts you from it.
Yes, and also like they all have their own problems going on and stuff like that. But it's I know you did not enjoy it nearly as much as I did. No.
I only saw it through because it was your turn to pick the anime.
Yeah.
Because I shipped him and the popular, I think that girl right there.
Yeah, the model girl.
Yeah. I liked her character arc because she was very cold and mean at first, but then she kind of opened up. Yes. And I like that kind of thing. But I just never liked Dora.
Yes.
I remember her being annoying. I remember that look on his face.
Yes.
But
people
I
always
do not
think
remember
he's gonna
the
be
show.
like an angry delinquent type guy, but he's just a clean freak.
Yes.
It's because his dad was a gangster apparently. So he got the genetics.
Right. He got
Genetic gangster.
Genetic gangster.
That's crazy.
I don't like to watch romances.
So it just flushed it from your mind, apparently.
No, I was just like chiming in on the subject. It was like I don't like to watch romance in general, but unlike you guys, like I don't mind a show with a romance in it, but I enjoy shows with zero romance.
Oh yeah,
I do. Like my favorite shows have zero romance. Like my favorite movie of all time right now has not been surpassed yet is Red.
Romance.
Oh dang it. But
it's actually about.
But it's actually about the romance.
It's about the romance.
It's about the romance.
No, it's not.
She gets kidnapped.
And he goes in after.
Because they're in love.
Oh my gosh, forget that one. Yeah. Well, I guess I no, but like I said, I do enjoy them, but I don't need it. I think because I actually prefer. Maybe it's not the romance part. It's the when they have to get. I don't like when they get too focused on the romance. Mm-hmm. Like I like when it's a side thing. To me, like even while watching Red, like oh yeah, they're this cute little couple that's trying to happen here. Mm-hmm. I'm not actually focused on them, even though it might be about rescuing her in some of the episodes or whatever. I like her commentary, I like her energy, but I like the story of what the guy is about, what he's doing. I like his character.
Yes.
So I was thinking like One Punch Man does it have romance? I don't think so. There's like no romance in there. But that's one of my other favorite shows. I was gonna say Mob Psycho, but it also has a romance. And the end of the episode season was like
about
kind of about that. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. But it comes down to like I prefer when there's no romance, but I don't often get that. So I just kind of I'll take the little romance when it's there. You would disagree?
I think it's that you don't like it when the romance there's any struggle in the romance. Like it's either they're together or they're not. That's the kind of thing you like. So you don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about.
I'd rather not think about it.
You don't have to expend any mental energy worrying about are they going to be okay? Oh, are they going to is there going to be a strain between? No, they're fine.
I don't like it to be the center of attention, and it usually only is the center of attention if there's a struggle. So that would make sense. But I mean, I'm sure there's been some where there's a struggle and it doesn't bother me. I don't know. Sure.
Oshinoko. And that bothers me.
No, that bothers me.
And I like it. That's why I brought it up. Speaking of Oshinoko, by the way, I just noticed Proto Kana and Akane.
Yes!
I don't know anything about them.
His face looks familiar, but it could just be...
He's the guy that the main female character likes.
Oh. Okay.
He confessed to her, she rejected him, but then after he confessed to her, she started like noticing him more and she started falling in love with him, so now she's trying to confess to him. Yeah.
I don't remember.
For me, I was like, that's the most girl thing that ever. Right.
Yeah, I remember not liking this because I knew from like episode 3 that my ship wasn't going to win. I don't think I shipped them at episode 3. Whenever I figured out that I liked these two together,
I knew it was going to go that way.
Out. Mm-hmm.
I already wasn't into the anime because I hate slice of lives, and it's a slice of life. Yes. So I was just watching it. I was like, it'd be cool if they got together. They're not going to get together. This sucks. Just waiting all these episodes.
Yes.
I think that's when I found out you didn't like slice of life.
Yes, it was. That's when I found out I didn't like slice.
We'll find out together.
But yeah, also, I actually saw a show recently that I wanted to tell you guys about a little bit. It's called Mr. In Between. Look at this guy.
Ooh, Mr. In Between.
So, Mr. In Between, I thought for the entire show that this took place in England. It's an Australian show.
Oh. It looks British. I was about to say, is this a British show?
Yeah, because I was like, why did they have so many guns? I thought swore England was like big on knife crime. And like, also, I knew he has an Aussie accent. I could tell that, but I thought he like moved in to England or something. Yeah. So someone pointed out, hey, you're from New Zealand? And I feel like, if you're in Australia, they would pick up that, no, you're obviously from here. Yeah. But no. So yeah, it's about this guy who, apparently this is a long-standing character. He's from another movie called The Magician. And he is a debt collector / hitman / handyman. He just does the work for other people if you pay him a lot of money. These guys throw around big numbers like nothing. I'm constantly wondering, like, how are you living like this? Because he gets, like, at one point told, hey, 3 guys, 3 bodies, I'll give you 30 grand for each. I was like, all right, sure, I'll do it. You just got 90 grand and you're still living like an animal. I guess you don't get jobs very often.
He's smart with his money. You can't make it look like you're living well.
True.
Yeah.
That is true. It's just for the entire show, I get the feeling that it's almost like he's never actually struggling. But the way he's living, I feel like this guy isn't actually, he doesn't have the money they're saying.
Well. Yes.
Because at one point he gets like kidnapped and he's like, okay, listen guys, you don't kill me, I'll give you my secret safe. It's got 640 grand in there. You can take the safe. Like, you have 640 grand buried in a safe off somewhere.
Is he a miser? Maybe he's like, I might stop getting
I
jobs
thought
soon.
that too. But later on in the seasons, he kidnapped someone, and that guy's like, all right, guys, you don't kill me. I got a safe for 250 grand. Like, why does everyone have a hidden buried treasure pirate safe?
Oh my gosh.
But it's an interesting show because at first, if you guys recall, I talked about the show called Tulsa King, and I said it was like a trash show.
Yes.
But it was an enjoyable trash show.
Yes.
The first season, I felt that way about this show, and I was like, this is just whatever. But as it went on, it started to feel like a good drama. Because you're just watching this guy live his life, and he happens to be a hitman, basically, and he just does his stuff. And each episode,
Life with a twist.
it was kind of a slice of life. It actually was kind of a slice of life, because each episode, they end on the most mundane things. Sometime, like one episode, he kills a guy. He goes over to his friend's house, who his friend also kills people sometimes, and he sits down next to him. It's like, oh yeah, you seen the game? And the show just ends, and they're like just talking nonsense about this soccer game. And episode just ends there. And this is like, I guess it's 2018, maybe it was binge era, but it also wasn't on Netflix. So I don't know, I felt very, it's like, you sit on a podcast on the other screen and you pay attention, but sometimes you're not paying attention. That's how I felt about this show.
Oh wow.
But by season 2, I was actually interested in where this was going.
Yeah.
This show is like taking out a gun, killing people, any violence whatsoever is a very big deal. Whereas American shows, they do
all
a
the
thing where,
time.
constant violence, constant explosions, constant everything. Whereas this, when it does happen, it's supposed to be an exceptional moment.
Yeah.
And eventually, by the end of the show, I did come to appreciate the character and the tragedy of his life. It's like, nothing ever seems to go... It's not all self-inflicted, but it's very real things that would happen to someone like this kept happening.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for him, but at the same time, it's like, he's a bad person. Like, he's a sociopath almost. He does care about some people. He's not a complete psycho, but he murders people like nothing. Like, if he gets a job to kill you, even if he knows you, he'll just kill you. There's this one guy who I won't go into detail on it, of course, but it's a guy he knew from way back in the day, and he happens to be in the city again. And he's like, hey, you want to get some drinks sometime? It's like, yeah, sure. I'm busy this weekend, though. How about next weekend? Can't do that weekend. So it's up in like a meet like weeks later. I almost got to feel like he didn't really want to hang out that much, but he knew him. And we've seen him like 5 times over the course of an entire season. And then next season, that guy's friend pays him to kill him because he wants his like spot in like this gang or whatever. Invites him out to go talk next to the car, puts a bag over his head, has his friend tie him up, and they take him in the car. And he's like, well, can you at least tell me who? I was like, yeah, your friend, you paid me to kill you. It's like, oh, okay. Like, nothing personal. Yeah, I know nothing personal.
Dang.
Like, that's just how they are.
Dang.
They all know that it's nothing personal, but if they get paid, they will kill you.
Wow.
That hurts my heart, and I didn't even watch the show.
Wow.
Yeah. And you can see, like, the guy was disappointed, and it's like, wait, he paid you to kill me? Like, you can see he was hurt.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's the way it is. And then they had, like, on the drive down, they had, like, a talk about, hey, you remember people you killed, stuff like that. And it was a very interesting conversation. And the show surprisingly does an excellent job with emotional scenes and getting across the characters will never outright say something bothers them, but when they're talking about something, you can see this really bothers them. Especially, like, he has a scene with his father, who apparently when he was a kid beat him all the time. And then he talks with him towards the very end. The father tries to reconcile because he's losing his mind, he's getting dementia, but he like has some clarity and is like, no, just stay. I'm good right now. I want to talk to you about some things. And he explains to him like how he felt it when he was growing up, and like he really regrets doing all that stuff. And he has this line where he's like, I wasn't the same after I went to Vietnam, because he was in the Australian Army, and I came back and said, I just wish you knew me before I went to war.
Aww.
And it was such a nice scene. And this character, he started crying.
Aww.
And it just faded out from there. It's just, very good with season 1. It's very good. Yeah, you feel it, aren't you?
Yeah, look at she's crying. I'm not.
You're misty.
No, I'm not.
And that's what, that scene actually I found on a YouTube short, and that got me to watch the show.
Oh.
Yeah, and the thing is, the show isn't about that.
No, it's just a moment.
It's sometimes very comedic. Again, he's a bad person.
Why is it called Mr. In-Between?
Because he's the guy you get to get stuff done.
Oh.
He's the
He's the
in-between.
in-between.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't work for anyone. He's just a freelancer.
Yeah.
Okay. Freelancer.
Yes.
On Craigslist.
On Craigslist. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But I found that like British shows do that really well, like much better than Western shows. They're very good at like going from like an absolutely nothing is happening, very boring, very mundane, and then like naturally it goes up to like a oh my gosh, this thing is happening like right now and like killing people, and then we could just go back to just regular talking or whatever. It's very interesting the way they put it together, because we don't get shows like that nearly as much in Western media. Like the show will like
Different
have a
kind
vibe
of arcs, yeah.
or like an energy, and it'll stay up on that energy, and it won't like go past down that energy. It won't do the mundane as well if it's an energetic show. And you'll feel the difference, but like in British shows, you'll like, it feels very natural to go up and down.
because
This felt very natural.
that's what I was gonna say. Like I think about like the superhero movies when they do the mundane scenes. It's kind of comedic.
Yeah.
When they do it, it's not. It doesn't. It's like, oh, we're here now because you're a superhero and you're drinking tea. Okay.
Shawarma?
Shawarma. Yeah, I think about that. Or like when what's that? Yeah, Hawks. No.
Hawkeye?
Hawks. This is my hero.
Yeah.
Hawkeye is having his moment with his family, like, something bad's gonna happen soon.
Yeah.
Like, it's always a setup for something. It's never, this is just what we do.
This is just life. Yes.
Very interesting dynamics. Talk about culture differences in the West.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why women would make it shocking when you encounter, you're like, what is happening?
Exactly. And it took me a while to get used to it. But I also wonder if, and people say this is it's a really highly rated cult classic because it wasn't like well known as a show. It also wasn't, apparently it was on Hulu, and Hulu's the place where shows go to never be heard of.
Yes.
So,
Sadly.
I mean, come on, guys. We all know what's going on here. But yeah, I mean, it was a good show. But it's also one of those shows where I don't know if it's a show I can recommend because it's just so different. If you're interested in a pretty good slow burn, kind of not slow burn sometimes, but I don't know, check it out. It's cool.
It's like one of those shows that you have to know the person to be able to recommend it to them first. Yeah.
It's better than Tulsa King.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the fans of this show also consider like one of the greatest shows of all time, which is a very good show, definitely underrated. I think that it's a little bit overblown by the fans.
Of course, always will be.
I would give it
classics.
an A+. If I was to grade it. It's a good show.
But you gotta make it through season 1.
Yeah. The thing is, I think season 1 was a problem for me just because I wasn't used to that pacing. I think if I was, it wouldn't.
You would have been fine.
Yeah, because it's an Australian comedy drama. Like, what kind of a combo is that?
Oh my gosh.
Only other thing that I had written down here for today is learning about people that you used to maybe not idolize, but you heard about a lot and you knew like they were a great person growing up, and then looking back by like looking up, I wonder what they got into, and then learning about the insanity that was their life, or things that or maybe they're in jail now.
It depresses me.
Yeah, but something that's not so crazy is Michael Jackson. So Michael Jackson apparently had an obsession with Peter Pan. A serious obsession with Peter Pan. And he wanted to be Pan in, remember the movie Hook with Ron Williams?
Oh, yeah.
He really wanted to be that guy. And when it turns out that he did get the job, he hated Steven Spielberg so much that he hired a Haitian witch doctor, paid him $50,000 to send a death curse on Steven Spielberg, including sacrificing 50 cows. He did a whole ritual and everything, trying to get Steven Spielberg to die. It didn't work. But yeah, that's crazy.
That
Should have sprung for the premium witch doctor.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Because I saw it on YouTube short, and it's like, that's the most insane, there's no way that happened. It's like, yes, that did happen.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
The things people with money will do.
Yeah.
And I know it's because, I also learned about it, how bad his father was, and how he, apparently his father would, just wait by them practicing, and if they messed up, he'd, have the belt in his hand, waiting for any of them to sing out of pitch or mess up a single time, and you just walk over and start beating them. So, they had a terrible childhood, so I see why he'd be obsessed with something like Peter Pan of, never growing old.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it don't mess with people's childhood, man. It stays with them forever. Yeah, so I was just wondering if you had any idea, or if you've heard of somebody who you knew a lot about them, and then later on you learned more about them that you just did not expect later on in life.
Yeah, but you gotta promise we won't talk about it.
Oh. Are they still active?
No. I want to say it, but I don't want us to discuss it.
Why?
Because I don't want to think about it.
Okay.
P. Diddy and all his craziness.
You knew about P. Diddy?
I liked P. Diddy growing up.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was an artist still.
Mom always just talks about Shop Like P. Diddy. Don't look at the price tag. That's the only thing I know about P. Diddy.
Well, in school, we used to get the newspaper, and we'd have songs, like Beyonce would come in the newspaper, P. Diddy, like songs would come, and we would just, like, read the lyrics for some reason. So it's kind of part of my childhood like, songs by these guys, so.
I thought you were going to say something like Cosby or something.
Oh.
That too.
Yeah, I'm genuinely, I always thought P. Diddy was just some rich guy who did some rap music way back in the day and is still rich from that.
Yes.
Yeah. I had no idea he was like an active influence in music until the stuff that recently happened.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty much laying low too. What about you, Rose?
I don't know because I don't like idolize people. Like,
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
I know, but like even like if somebody who I was like, oh my gosh, that person is so
You don't
cool.
really look them up or
and then
anything?
I hear they do something like really terrible. I'm so unbothered. Like I'm like.
No,
I
you
knew
don't- you
you
don't
would
have-
have.
Wow.
I mean, like,
No, just someone you knew of and something happened. Because I mean, like, I didn't.
It could have just been slightly disappointing.
No, or even just like, wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
You know, that's I didn't expect Michael Jackson to hire a witch doctor.
Yeah,
But he wasn't like
nobody
my-
expects a human.
He wasn't my hero or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess Jay-Z. I guess.
Jay-Z.
Cheating
Well,
on
cheating.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
That's all that comes to mind, honestly.
So then, let's end with Rosette.
Rent. I was just thinking about lately.
Oh.
Do you have a favorite trash anime? Like one of the, like you come across an anime, it was like, you're like, this is such trash. This is so low tier.
Well, I don't come
I'm never gonna
across-
admit to anybody that I watch trash like this, but it's like a guilty pleasure, you know?
I don't come across anime, so.
Okay, what about like just trash TV or a trash game or something like that? For me, at the well, not at the moment because the season is done. It was Iruma. Iruma-kun.
Oh, yeah?
Iruma-kun. Yeah. It's such trash. It's so lame. It's
What is it
like
about?
it's okay. So there's this kid. He
Oh yeah, we talked about this.
Yes,
Iruma?
he grew up in a house where his parents are super irresponsible.
Yeah, I remember
he's the
this
only
one.
He's the only responsible one. Like he works to like feed them,
Right.
and then they take the money and then they go off and play. I guess his parents apparently like sell him to the devil. For money. So the devil is like, you're mine now, and I'm gonna be your grandfather. Yeah. Like that at the still one of my top tier trash animes.
It's trash, but
It's so trash.
Okay.
It's so lame. Like it's so lame.
It sounds such like a cute premise.
It is cute, but it's just so lame. It's like everything they do is so like cliche.
Oh.
And lame. I don't know how to explain. Like every turn that they take that could be like, interesting.
It's always the predictable way.
They make it lame. I don't know.
Lame is the only word
Yes.
in third vocabulary.
It's okay. So day one, he enrolls in demon school. You know,
That's true.
top tier demon school. Where, by the way, in the demon world, everybody is like, yummy humans. So that we can eat some humans. So he's just a human going to this school now.
So he has to be quiet. I remember he has to keep it on download.
Yes, he wants to keep it on the download. Day one, he accidentally gets into a fight with like the son of like one of the higher ups that everybody was like, oh, this guy is prince of the school. Accidentally wins, and the guy is immediately like, I'm gonna serve you forever, master. I'm like, what? And that, so yes, like it could have been cool, like a rivalry turned friendship, but it's lame now.
Yeah.
Oh,
but at the same time, it's like I'm still watching it, you know, because I enjoy
like candy.
this trash.
Trash candy.
Trash candy.
You eat it still.
Yes.
Do you have one?
I mean, yeah, I couldn't find the name of it. You've seen it. It's the one where It's the anime where if you understand the concept behind the magic.
Yes, the son of grandson.
Oh,
of
yeah.
Great Mage's grandson or something like
Something like that.
I heard you guys talk about this.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know I've seen another one that's probably more trash than that, but I can't think of it right now because it's been a long time since I've just seen anime on my own. But that one, yeah, because everything was very predictable.
that. Yes.
The only unique
Predictable,
thing was
yes.
the understanding behind the magic. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that a lot. But as time's gone on, I think that actually might be a more common trope than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it in a couple of others. But yeah, everything in there was predictable. The characters just acted overly emotional at random points.
Yes.
Some characters were just bullied. I feel like what's going on here? Like, why do I hate this guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
like,
what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the guy and the girl, you always knew they're going to end up together. Everyone happens to be around when they confess to each other. It's like it's just whimsy.
Yes.
The whole anime is whimsy, and so I it's not good. It's not bad. It's not terrible either, but it's not good.
Is it
I'd give
even
it like
B
C.
tier? C. Wow.
Yes.
It's not
That's
a good
why
show.
it's trash anime.
Yeah, but I'd watch it. I'd watch
Yes.
season 2 because I liked it. You
Yes.
know, it's just I like
Yeah,
it.
I've been waiting for season 2 too.
Like some Captain Crunch on the side.
Yeah, Captain Crunch is my favorite trash candy.
Is it Captain
No,
Crunch?
Crunch. It's just Crunch.
Just crunch.
Oh, okay.
Captain Crunch.
Trash anime. Yes.
Doesn't taste good. Doesn't taste bad. I'll eat it.
No. Yes.
Yes. You got a trash anime?
You don't
I only watch good anime.
You don't ingest enough to find the trash.
No, I do not. I don't explore.
But yeah, so I think that's it for this episode. So guys, thank you guys very much for being here with us. Guys, if you liked the time, please do like, subscribe if you want to see more. Remember, if you want to see the next episode a couple of weeks ahead, you can see it on Patreon down below. But either way, thank you very much for being here. I'd like to remind you, by the time you're seeing this, new shows will be coming out. So we got Rurouni Kenshin that's coming out very soon. We've got ReZero, which should be out by now. And we've also got Dandadan that's coming up. So check those out if you're interested. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the city. Bye-bye.
Bye.